Alright, so what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm going to go through some of my current favourite loadouts that I use in Warzone. Now, this list is a very varied list, as I've tried to sort of tailor my top picks to different preferences that people might have, such as, I don't know, meta guns, low recoil builds, movement builds, and so on. I've spent a lot of time messing around with these guns and sort of, trying to optimize some of the stats. I've spent some time online looking at what other people build and sort of comparing them to mine as well, and I'm very confident with mine. I've spent quite a bit of time with all my loadouts as well, so I'm very confident that these will give you some success if you're looking for it. Now, just before we do get into today's video, if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. On top of more Modern Warfare 3 videos, I'm probably going to be doing more Warzone videos as well like this, because me and my friends have been playing Resurgence quite a lot recently, and it's a lot of fun. And we're gearing up for Rebirth Iron to come back, so we're excited for this game. So yeah, show your support in this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and we're going to start off with the absolute meta in my opinion, which is the DG56. Who saw this one coming there? I mean, the DG is basically just the AUG from Season 2 of Cold War in Warzone. It's absolutely disgusting. It does tons of damage. Its fire rate is just unbelievably good. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. Here's the loadout on the screen that I use. Now, the sight is definitely preference-based, but for a sort of higher zoom optic, I prefer the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5. As you'll probably see from some of the background gameplay in this video, it's just a really clean sight. It has just enough zoom, especially for Resurgence, but it has a really clean reticle, not too big of a frame as well. We've also got the DG56 LS18 barrel, the Spirit Fire suppressor, 60 round drum, and the last stand comb. Now, if you want a little more accuracy with the DG, you can swap out the comb for a stock that does more recoil control or something like that, but the comb I just threw on there for a bit of ADS speed. I don't want this thing to be too slow. I still want it to be sort of snappy, so that's why I've kept this on. But yeah, this thing's just the meta, not much else to say. Now, speaking of the meta, the other meta gun that a lot of people complain about, probably more than the DG actually, is the WSP. This is a battle rifle in Modern Warfare 3 that currently is just dominating the game. Like, it's just head and shoulders above everything else. It's just a really solid gun. Here's the build that I have on screen here. I don't use the Corio Eagle's Eye on this one. I use the Mark III reflector, I don't know, I just prefer it. But those are the only two sights that I actually do use in Warzone. The Mark III reflector and the Corio Eagle's Eye. Just depends on what gun I might change my sight on. But we've also got the FSS Olive Laser. We've got the Bruen Venom Long Barrel. We've got the Spirit Fire Suppressor once again. And finally, the 45 round mag. Now, the laser I've gotten here because the same reason as before. I don't think it needs more recoil control because the recoil on the WSP is pretty much all vertical on this build. So I didn't really think I needed more recoil control because vertical recoil is very easy to control. But once again, if you want to swap this out for maybe a quicker stock or rear grip, or if you want to put some recoil control on there, you can do that. These weapon builds that I'm giving aren't a, this is what you must use on the gun. Like, you can mess around with it and, swap attachments out, pick and choose. This is just I would say the skeleton of the gun that I do highly recommend with the attachments. The next one we're going to go on to is the WSP Swarm. Now, this is an SMG that is really, really good up close. Like, this thing absolutely shreds people. If you guys played the original Warzone, it's basically the Mk9 from that. It works the exact same way. I'm pretty sure it is literally the Mk9. Like, it's the exact same gun. And here's the build that I use on it. I've seen a lot of people run iron sights on this, but I personally hate them. I think the iron sights are just bleh. No. So, Mark III reflector, we've got the FSS Fortress heavy stock and the Pestilence 12 short barrel for the recoil control. We've also got the Marauder grip on there and the 50 round mag. This thing is so small that you don't really need a laser sight or no stock on there. You really need the recoil control because the recoil on this thing is still pretty nuts even with these attachments on there. But if you use the gun, you're comfortable with the recoil pattern, you could probably take off the rear grip and swap out for a laser or maybe an underbarrel or something like that. If you want, it to be snappier and quicker, that's 100% an option. I will say as well, I've seen a few people use hollow point rounds on their SMGs and assault rifles. I personally don't want to use them because I don't want to be a scumbag. I'm just going to straight up say it. I think hollow point rounds are really scummy. If you want to go ahead and swap any of these attachments on these guns out for hollow point rounds, you can do that because they give the target ridiculous amounts of flinch. But I personally don't like using them. I prefer to just have a good gun and sort of rely on my gun skill and how good the gun is. Next up, we have the Rival 9. Probably my favorite SMG at the moment in Warzone. This thing is just all around just an incredible SMG. It's, got the fire rate, it's got the accuracy, it's got mobility. It has literally everything. And here's the build that I use on screen. So we've got the Bruen Flash V4 stock. We've also got the VLK laser 7mW on there for the ADS speed. We've got the DR6 hand stop, which I'm pretty sure does like movement speed, ADS speed as well, just to keep this thing a bit quicker. Then we've got the Rival C clear shot barrel and the 50-round drum mag. And the reason why I went with, you know, the hand stop, the stock, and the laser to make this thing quicker is because we got that 50-round drum and the longer barrel on there. That's going to slow down the gun really quickly. So I just went ahead, slapped these attachments on, not only counteract the effects, but also go past that and just make the gun even quicker as well. But like I say, this is probably my favorite SMG at the moment. If there's one I recommend, it's going to be this one. This is 100% my favorite SMG. It's an all-round good SMG. It doesn't excel at one thing too much. It just does everything brilliantly. Coming in at the halfway mark here for all you snipers out there, here's my Cat AMR build. I personally don't snipe. I haven't tried this out yet, but I kind of went with something that I thought was good, and I've also compared it with other people's online. So we've got the tactical stock pad and the phantom grip here. We've also got the FSS olive laser to, you know, increase the ADS speed, because this thing definitely needs it. We've also got the Zang 34 barrel and the Sonic Suppressor XL to sort of get that damage range up, basically for the one hit. This is currently the only gun that actually one-shot kills in Warzone, so if you want to snipe, this is the gun I recommend. This is the build. Next up is another personal favorite of mine, and that is the Bruen Mk9. This is a gun that I absolutely adored using in the original Warzone on Rebirth Island, and to see that it's just as good in this game, it feels pretty much identical as it did before. It makes me so happy. I'm literally grinning just saying it. You can probably hear it in my voice. On screen, here's my build. So obviously we've got the Mark III reflector, we've got the VLK laser 7mW, the 60-round mag, then we've got the 23-inch XRK Horizon barrel, and the V7 Spiritfire suppressor. This is just an incredible gun. It doesn't have too much recoil. It does have a little bit. You have to control it, but not enough where, you know, you're going to be wildly missing target. What can I say? It's just an all-round amazing gun at range. It has incredible recoil, good range. It doesn't have, you know, too little ammo as well with the 60-round mag. It's about perfect, I would say. So all around, this is an incredible gun. Once again, if there's one gun I'd recommend in this video, it'd probably be this one. Next up, we have the MCW. This is one that as soon as I used it in multiplayer, I was like, this is most likely going to be good in Warzone, and I was right, because it literally doesn't move. I mean, no matter what you do to this gun, maybe apart from like remove the stock, it doesn't move. Like, the recoil on this thing is insane. So here I'm using once again the Mark III reflector, but the iron sights on this thing are quite nice. So if you want to, you can use them. We've got the RB Regal heavy stock, the 60-round drum mag, the 16.5-inch Cyclone barrel, and the Spiritfire suppressor. Now, this is definitely more of a recoil control build, because there's nothing on here that sort of speeds up the gun. It slows it down quite a lot, but it literally doesn't move. Like, you don't even need to control the recoil on this thing. Back onto an SMG here, we got the Striker 9, which I think is actually really good for Warzone. I really didn't like using this thing in multiplayer, actually, but for some reason in Warzone, it just feels really solid. And here's my build on the screen. We got the Mark III reflector, which once again, you could probably swap out for the iron sight if you really wanted to, and I don't know, put a rear grip on there, put a muzzle on there. We got the VLK laser 7mW, the Striker Recon long barrel, the DR6 hand stop, and the 50-round drum. This is a very good all-round SMG. Once again, it has a very high fire rate, so you're not going to have, you know, you don't need to have 100% accuracy. And yeah, not much else to say really. I think this is just a solid build. A little bit of a wild card here actually for the close range builds. We have the Renettis. Now the Renettis are something that really surprised me. I remember one game we were playing, I think Quad's Resurgence on, I think maybe Pop of Power or something, and this guy ran up behind us with dual Renettis, wiped out the entire trio. Like, all three of us that were playing, we just got completely wiped out by these things. Ever since then, I've thought, you know what, I'm going to build the Renettis, see how good they are, and they do not disappoint. Up close, they are devastating. So here's my build on screen. Obviously, you need the Akimbo Renettis. We've got the F-Tac status folding stock, the X10 sidearm L400, you know, for that hip-fire accuracy. We've got the 24-round mag and the Bruen Express trigger. Now, this, I will say, is something where you need to be really close for it to work. Like, anything above 10-15 meters, you're probably not going to do very well with it. So this is a very situational thing, but if you get close to the enemy, or at least close enough to, you know, do well with these things, you will decimate people up close. Like, these things are actually scary. And last but not least here for the range builds, we got the TAC Eradicator, which is actually based off of the hammer in Modern Warfare 2. This thing is a really nice build. It's a very good ranged weapon. Here on screen is my build. We've got the Mark III reflector, which you can swap out for the iron sight if you want to. We got the TAC Vert core stock, the Conquer 70 long barrel, the Spiritfire suppressor, and the F-Tac SP10 angled grip. Now, the reason reason that I've gone for more accuracy and no speed on it is because this thing doesn't really have very good accuracy. So I thought, you know, we need the stock on there, we need the grip on there, and the barrel and the suppressor, obviously, all focusing on the recoil control because it isn't amazing on this gun. But if you do land your shots, this thing is very strong. As well, with the first, I think, 5 rounds maybe, they fire a lot quicker. It's something to do with it turning from an open bolt to a closed bolt. Some nerdy gun stuff, I don't really know. But for whatever reason anyway, the first like 5 bullets in your magazine will shoot a lot quicker. So just bear that in mind. If you get that first shot accuracy, you can do some serious damage with this thing. Now, some honorable mentions that I did want to talk about here. We got the ISO Hemlock with this build on screen. This is something from Modern Warfare 2 that I really liked. It's, you know, really accurate, just feels really good, but it has quite a slow fire rate, so you need to be accurate with it. We've also got the AMR9 here on screen. This is one that I really like messing around with. This thing feels really good. Another throwback from Modern Warfare 2019 as well, we've got the Ram 7. This one is pretty good. I don't think it's as good as it used to be in Modern Warfare 2019, but it's still a very solid gun. And finally, we have the Striker. I mean, I personally think the Striker 9 is better than the Striker, but the Striker is still really good. I do highly recommend using that as well. But there we go. That's going to do it for all of my recommended loadouts here in Modern Warfare 3 Warzone. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you show your support, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.